Buongiorno, this is Giovanni Di Fabrizio, Prof. Di Fabrizio, VCE Italian. We are going to talk today about persuasive writing in Italian for VCE exam. I'm going to go over those slides where we got some of the linguistic features that you have to include when you write a persuasive piece in Italian. Exactly like in English, we do have certain features that you need to include. You can see here that when you want to persuade, to convince someone about something, you would have to include your point of view, but also objective data like statistical informations, opinion of experts. Now, be aware that the data doesn't have to be like verified on anything, even if your data are a little bit off or you're just using your personal knowledge, that's fine, as long as you've got those numbers in there. Anecdotes, example, and evidence are the other three things, and this means that you got to illustrate and give some example to about what you are supporting, your ideas. Now, depending on the type of audience, you may have to persuade a friend, so that will be more colloquial, that will be a little bit more casual, the language. If you have to persuade, let's say, the school principal or a politician or someone at work, in that case, your language becomes more formal, so depending on the audience. The example that we're going to use now is writing an email to a friend. So this task that you see up here, we are trying to email someone to convince them of the benefits of joining a sport team because your friend spend a lot of time at home, okay? So fairly easy text type, email, addressing your friend about this issue. You want to get him to join a team sport, so you will need an introduction, maybe 3 or 4 points why he should join a sport team, and then a conclusion. Okay, let's have a look on now the linguistic features. So the first one that we're going to look at is make the language engaging and make the language a little bit exaggerated. How do we do that? With the exclamation marks. Look at those examples. È terribile che il 50% dei giovani passa 4 ore al giorno sul computer o telefonino. Pretty dramatic, exclamation mark, and then look at this second example, how you bring it into the conversation. Sono sicurissimo che anche tu sei d'accordo con me su questo problema. So you're trying to engage with the audience, which in this case is your friend. Okay? Another exclamation mark here. I ragazzi non sanno più comunicare e in futuro diventeremo tutti dei robot. A little bit exaggerated, a little bit in this case a little bit extreme, but again, you are just trying to make the point about the issue, which is the fact that your friend spends too much time at home, and so on and so forth. Okay, second one, inclusive language, kind of similar to engaging the audience. There are a couple of techniques that you can use in Italian. First of all, using we. Dobbiamo tutti fare uno sforzo per ridurre la dipendenza. Noi, like tutti sanno, everyone knows. So we're trying to include the audience, yourself, into being more aware of this issue, which in this case is limitare l'uso della tecnologia, videogiochi, and so on. Next one, similar to what we already see earlier, exclamatory sentences. So you got to try to exaggerate a little bit, but in this case, you're actually giving also some insight on the issue. Potresti fare nuove amicizie, ridere e divertirti un sacco. You can see this language is very casual, un sacco, like molto, tanto. Or even just give it some imperative. Svegliati, in the sense of like, come on, wake you up, dai, puoi cambiare abitudini. Okay. Next one. Now, this is a bit more interesting. Writing anecdotes, illustration, give examples that could support your thesis. Okay. Per esempio, so this is a really good way to start an illustration, per esempio, but you can also use infatti, which is also another way. Un mio amico ha limitato il tempo che passa sul telefonino a 1 ora al giorno e ha cominciato a uscire di più. Ora si sente molto meglio e ha tanta energia. Ha fatto anche tante nuove amicizia con nuove persone. So this is a story, an anecdote or an example, a point of view, something that you know can help you support your point, which is to convince your friends to get out of the house, join a team sport. This one is another way of saying it. È stata un'esperienza che ha cambiato la mia vita. That's your own experience, but you can talk about someone else. Un mio amico. Rhetorical questions. This is very important in persuasive writing. Rhetorical questions are those questions that they don't need to be answered in the text. They are just, again, used to include and to engage the audience. And the best way to start a rhetorical question is always with lo sai o lo sapevi che chi fa esercizio fisico ogni giorno è più felice? O even a little bit more dramatic in ti rendi conto che trascorrere ore e ore davanti a uno schermo può essere dannoso? So rhetorical questions. Repetitions. Repetitions, obviously, you are going to push the same button in many different ways when you try to convince someone. So here we got socializzazione, socializzare, which is the same as uscire insieme, stare con altre persone. They're all going around the same thing, which is, okay, gioco di squadra, team sport, meaning meeting new people, means to go out, socialize. So you are repeating the same concept, which means that you need to use synonyms. You have to use synonyms to say the same thing, and therefore your vocabulary there and glossary is very important. Opinion phrases. Now, you know that being part of a team sport is a good thing. Therefore, you gotta give your opinion by using these expressions that you have here in the video. Some of them take the subjunctive, penso che sia, but you can also use the conditional tense, like in this example. Penso che potresti leggere un libro prima di andare a dormire la sera per rilassarti. In that case, you could say, let's say you're talking about a team sport, you might say, oh, penso che ci sia una squadra di calcio vicino casa tua. I think there is a soccer team near your place, okay? Calcio. Bene, so we just went through some of those features for persuasive writing. I hope that this helps, and I will hopefully add some more videos about the different type of writing. Remember that there is not only persuasive, but your VCE exam could also have evaluative, personal, imaginative, and informative writing. A presto, ciao!